Good morning, Niagara. You're tuned to Car Connection, where the coffee's hot, tools are ready, and the talk is always tuned up. I'm your host, Nile Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you straight from the Car Connection Workshop, where we mix a little humor, a little know-how, and a whole lot of horsepower. Here, it's not just about fixing cars. It's about keeping you rolling and saving you money, giving you the confidence to understand what's under that hood. From the classics to the commuters, the weird noises, and those what the heck moments, we've got you covered. So grab your coffee, sit back, join the crew, because this is Car Connection, your Monday through Saturday morning pit stop for stories, smarts, a few good laughs. And I'm Nile Motormouth Jenkins, and you are tuned to Motormouth's Morning Drive. Welcome to Tuesday, a brand new day. We'll have the daily weather coming up and our Swiggy. If you're joining us for the first time, you're going, what? Swiggy? What the heck is that? I thought you'd ask. Okay, a couple of housekeeping tips if you're joining us brand spanking new. Welcome aboard. You can find us on all the podcast platforms around the world. Podbean, Amazon, Apple, Spotify, wherever you pull your podcasts from, just type in the search box, Car Connection Workshop, and you'll find us. We're there. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Stevensvilleontheweb.ca. We're listed there as the expert in the automotive field, so we do articles there, reels, bloopers, and outtakes you'll find nowhere else except on Facebook, Instagram, and Stevensvilleontheweb.ca. Yes, we have merch, answering another email. All of this information is located on the home page of our website, which is the biggest drawer in our toolbox. You'll find our program partners there, recommended businesses. Click on their icon for their logo, and you'll see a little square box light up. Bam! Click it, and you'll open their profile page so that you can meet them. Because with our program partners, we need them just as much as we need you to make this podcast and our YouTube channel available to you. So with Car Connection, we now have, after 32 years, more ways for you to watch, listen, and engage. So come and join us each and every weekday morning for Motormouth's Morning Drive. Friday is Fun Friday. That's where we kind of let our hair down, just have a chit-chat and a natter. As my friend Jillian always says, we need to get a natter in. Exactly. And Saturdays is Q&A, questions and answers. So if you have a question, qu'est-ce que c'est? Send it in by noon on Friday to my email address, which I include in all the descriptions of each video on our YouTube channel and on each of our podcasts. So our podcasts immediately upload to our YouTube channel. So you go to YouTube on our homepage, all the icons and links are on the top right-hand corners. That's where our Freedom Expressions online store is located. So you can buy yourself some Motormouth gear and wear it with pride, show it off, send us a selfie, and we'd be happy to flash it off for you as well on our website. Maybe we should start a page. We get enough people going with our Car Connection Motormouth merch, selfies, wearing your Car Connection gear. It will start a hero page. Yeah, what do you think of that one? I think that'd be pretty cool. And so that's where you're going to be able to order your merch safely online, pay for it, and it gets shipped directly to your door. How cool is that? And if you are enjoying the videos, enjoying the podcasts, thanks to our Skippy and pushing me and say, you need to put up a donation page. So I forgot to mention, all the proceeds from the merchandise sales, we turn that back to Total Freedom Addiction campuses where lives are being changed one at a time in Canada and the USA. So our job, we thought, would be to take the proceeds from the sales, just let them have them, and let's stand together and change lives together and get that next person to the nearest addiction campus at Total Freedom. How cool is that? That is cool. Get you some of that for sure. Absolutely. We can work together and make a difference in the life of someone else. Excuse me. That's a pollinator right there. Yeah. How many of you suffering from seasonal allergies? I never had that stuff before. And now, like this year, it seems to be like quite the thing. It's especially in the morning. I feel like I've been, smoking Cubans all night, playing poker, which I suck at cards. I'm just saying. I never play gambling games at all because, I cry when I lose a nickel. How about you? So on our YouTube channel and on our podcasts, in the descriptions, I do all of those things. I include a lot of automotive tech tips in the descriptions and ways for you to connect. Anyways, I was on the donations. So if you like videos, you like our videos, and you like our podcasts, you can now help put some fuel in the tank because we're not monetized yet. We are working like dogs to get there. And that's the other thing I'll say in just a moment. buymeacoffee.com/Motormouth Nile, Nile. And any donation is we are absolutely grateful because that helps us with the costs to produce the podcasts and also the videos because we really don't have enough program partners to go beyond what our fixed expenses are. There's not a whole lot left. There's more month than money, pretty much. And I'm going to see Tony Miele this morning, meeting with Tony around 10:30 this morning. So pray for me, would you, please? Great guys. Let me tell you. I'll just dive into that for a second. One of these Friday mornings, I'll share some of my story, but I'll tell you what, no matter how badly it sucks in your household right now for finances, you don't know which way, whether you're coming or going north, south, east, or west, upside down or sideways, really grab hold of the coattails of Tony Miele or Larry Tetro, our certified financial planning professionals. If I could put you in my head for 30 seconds, you'd be on the phone 30 seconds after that and going, I want to book that hour and a coffee consultation. I need to get some answers. I need to get some direction. I need some clarity to where we need to go and how we're going to get there because I have no idea. And doing an opinion poll is like this. I'll share what my professor would say. Everyone else is always so quick to solve all of your problems, but their problems really suck. So if you're taking advice from someone whose feet are not standing exactly where you want to be, you have no business asking them what they think. Be respectable, smile, nod like you don't understand what language they're speaking in. But that's where Tony Miele and Larry Tetro are the ears and the eyes and the heart that feels to put together a game plan to help you with either a really bad performing investment portfolio at the bank. I talked about GICs yesterday. 3.99%. Are you kidding me? No. You can do 10 times better. 10 times better with that. So that's where a consultation and a discovery meeting is going to help you. Debt. Lots of people are drowning in debt right now. Get an hour and a coffee meeting. Sit down and lay it on the line. Estate planning, mortgages, life insurance, critical illness insurance, all that is available to you at no cost, no obligation, no sales gimmick, nothing. Grab hold of either one of these fellas, Tony or Larry. Book that hour and a coffee and watch how the stress comes off, because please don't give up on yourself and your household. There's always something that can be done, but it's not going to be with the bank. I can tell you that right now. It is not. It is not. They're not there to help us. We are their best customer when we're paying interest. That's us. That's who we are. That's how we're identified. Keep them in debt. Keep them paying interest and principal. And you don't get any further ahead. That's why I like to talk about the car game. You don't have to play the car game. That's marketing. That's marketing 101. That at the end of your loan term, that's it. It's over. Cash it in. get what you can get for the sheet metal and rubber, and then jump into another one and just keep pay. If I don't have to do it, you don't have to do it. And just because I'm an automotive service tech, that's not a big enough excuse to convince me that you should stay in the car game, working all those hours, driving all those miles to make a car payment, because you don't. Mileage doesn't matter. Maintenance matters. And yes, there's a lot of manufacturers right now in the last 5-6 years have been absolutely flooding the market with junk. Absolute junk. Now, if I'm a shop owner, I'm loving that, because that's giving me lots of work, especially when you're outside a warranty. But as far as consumerism goes, the consumer's taking a beating. So you got to be smarter than the cat. So let's get into our morning swiggy. You're also newbies. You're going to need a pack of 16 Crayola crayons, some beauties, and a leaf bag. Take down some notes. If you miss something, you can always listen and re-listen on our YouTube channel, Nile Motormouth Jenkins. If not, just go to our homepage of our website, Car Connection Business Network. Top right-hand corner, everything is there for you to connect with our program partners and follow along with more episodes and projects and details. All those things are available for you so that you can follow the build and repair work we do and connect with our program partners all in one place, making it nice and easy peasy for you. Well, let's have our morning swiggy, and we thank Tony Amelie and Larry Tetro for bringing that to us. The title of this morning's 5 Things. Yes, I have 5 more things for you that ties right in with yesterday's Back to the Basics. This is actually what I'm doing today, is breaking down the 5 things that I share with you in every single YouTube video. And how many of you have replaced wheel bearings or had bearings replaced on your front wheel drive vehicle? How many out there? Let me know in my email, Nile@ccbusnet.com or motormouth.jenkins@gmail.com. If you missed that, again, all that information I pop into the descriptions along with many more automotive tech tips. Once you follow along with Back to the Basics, which is yesterday, a good follow-up is understanding the 5 things on your automobile. Think of all the components that make up your car, and if you can learn simply 5 things about each component by either watching our videos or listening, you would be dangerous when you get to the service center, because you'll know stuff. You'll be familiar with what the items are and how they work. So stay tuned. Let's have our morning swiggy. So if you're in the queue for the drive-thru, it is Tuesday. It's early in the week. Make sure your order comes out the window correctly, because it's still almost weekend, if you know what I'm saying. So on 3, 2, 1, let's say thank you to Earl Louise Grant, your new family, your family of cars. If you're looking to buy, looking and liking to buy a really good quality vehicle, that's where you got to go. You got to go and meet Mama Louise and her husband Earl, who's a die-hard car guy enthusiast. They don't haul in any junk to sell to you. Low mileage, quality vehicles at fair prices. Greater Toronto area's premier pre-owned auto store. In-house leasing and financing available. And I'll tell you, you will have a most amazing vehicle purchase you've ever had in your entire life. Mama Louise is going to be loving all over you. And if they don't have the vehicle you're looking for, then Earl's the guy you need to say, I'm looking for this. Can you find a decent one? If he can't find a decent one with all the resources they have, then you need to just sit back like I did when I was looking for an FJ Cruiser, and I waited a whole year. But you know what? In the end, she's at 400,000 kilometers, one owner, and I didn't take the hit on the depreciation. I got a great purchase number out of it, and it's still going strong. So it's worth it to wait. So if he can't find it, if Earl can't find that special vehicle for you, wait it out so you don't end up with something from some of these corner car lots. We got a corner car lot here in town down along the south shores of Lake Erie along the river. Let me tell you, he's probably got 50 or 60 cars jammed on this lot. But I know all about the fella and what he's doing there. He's rebuilding wrecks. Yeah, guess what you're going to get? A skunk in a mink coat. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Swiggy time. Oh, yeah, that was a long swiggy. Sorry about that silence there. I'm going to scoff another one. You ready? 3, 2, 1. That is so scrumptious this morning. Absolutely. Thank you to Kathy, Dave, and Dan Grimo with Niagara Block 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls, building Canada since 1931. Just imagine that. And I've seen pictures of what Niagara Falls area looked like in black and white back in 1931. It's unreal. It's absolutely unreal when you look at the pictures and you go, what? That's what it looked like here? Because I can't imagine that at all. But they've been around building Canada since 1931. Building supplies, they make the blocks right there on site. Oh, you see buildings and they have the cinder blocks and they have the designer blocks. They do that. They built the machinery and they build those blocks right there at Niagara Block, and they can help you put together that special building you want to create. Maybe it's a man garage. Yeah. Maybe it's a diva garage or an outbuilding of some kind where you can have your hobbies in there. But if you're looking to create an amazing hardscape, landscape, backyard space, these are your folks. They have all the supplies, gorgeous, outstanding materials to make that space that you've always wanted as your outside living space actually happen. And Kathy Grimo has a list of contractors. And I'll tell you what, I learned a lesson back in 2012, not hiring a general contractor when we built the Car Connection workshop studio and our broadcast studios. I did not have a life for 2 years. And I really felt like I was going, over the cliff, watching out for the contractors coming in and the work and the sloppiness. And it was too much. And if I had known at that time that I could have hired a general contractor that takes care of all of that stuff and make sure that every contractor is showing up on time and getting stuff done on time for the next guy, I would have done it in a heartbeat, but I did not know. So check in with Kathy and get yourself a really good, solid referral contractor and get that beautiful backyard space created for you. You will not be disappointed. 69 degrees right now and cloudy, partly cloudy conditions expected around 9 a.m. today. I got to go to the U-Pull at Wrecking Yard. Please pray for me, okay? It's going to be 83 degrees, possibly 85. It's saying today's temperature range is from 68 to 83 degrees. Feels like 67 to 85 degrees. Yesterday we tapped out at 78 was a high. Today's going to be 83. On the rainometer, 0. So on the south shores of Lake Erie and the Niagara region, the Golden Horseshoe, that is your weather for today. Thank you to Earl and Louise Grant bringing that to us and making Car Connection possible. Yeah, exactly. We need our program partners. We could use a few more. But here's where we need, Skippy and I need your help, okay? We are at the halfway point of our first 1,000 subscribers to our YouTube channel. So would you take a moment sometime today, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and that if you have subscribed, just check and make sure that it really is. I kind of see something going on and tracking it. Yeah, I'm like a dog with a bone. So make sure you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, would you please do that? And and get the booster cables out and a can of fuel and get our engine started and give us a big push to get to our first 1,000 subscribers by July 30th. Could you do that? Thank you so much. From Skippy and I, Mondays is our production day. We shoot new vids. We upload 3 new vids every single week. We've been doing that right from day one. So there's everything about your vehicle from soup to nuts on our YouTube channel, and it's a teaching channel. We have done some rescues on there. We're going to do another rescue soon. Got a series coming up. The vehicle's in the staging bay right now, and then we'll bring it over as soon as we get some of these other things out, because Orange Crush has taken up some time with that. If you have been following that series on what happens when mice get into your dash and into your cabin air filter, and they launch all their excrement in there. I won't go into any details. It's breakfast time, but it's taken almost a whole month to do it. And I got to go get some plastic pieces that someone else before me was like a bull in a china shop, rougher than a stucco toilet seat, taking the dash apart prior to my person, and broke some stuff that I can't fix. So, and they're needed. The pieces are needed. So I got to go into the U-Pull at Wrecking Yard in St. Catharines today on my road trip with a couple of meeting with Tony and my accountant. And I got to have those plastic pieces for the dash to bolt into, and they're broken. Like, they're broken beyond repair. So I don't know what they were doing, whoever went in there last, but these are the things you run into, and we videotaped this whole thing because we're dealing with hantavirus, which if you Google that sometime today, it'll really educate you. It's real. It is absolutely real. And I remember, what's his name, from Derek Beers from Vice Grip Garage, got really sick from it, and that kind of tuned him up about, going and rescuing vehicles, and there's excrement in there from rats and rodents and mice and whatnot. You can't be breathing that stuff in. You can't be touching it with your hands. You can't be blowing it out with the air blower and breathing those particles in. You can make yourself really, really sick. And yes, it can even, what's the term? Unalive you. Yes, unalive. All right, so let's move on this morning. I have another Motormouth Summer Tech Tip for you. It's entitled Oils Still the Lifeblood, Baby. So stick around for that. Let's jump in to our topic this morning. 5 things. That's what I've entitled it, which is the backbone of our YouTube channel and all the videos we produce for you, is for those who are single, recently divorced, recently widowed, and having to handle the vehicles on your own, where your hubby was there for you to do all that and take charge of that area. Maybe that's you, which is perfect. Single gals, you're working, you got a car, and it's too easy to get taken advantage of at the shop for all you ladies. So I'm here for you, and have been carving out this lane since 1996 with Car Connection. So 44 years as a automotive service tech. I'm still very much hands-on, and you'll see that in the videos on our YouTube channel. It's in my blood. That's it. Sometimes it's a love-hate relationship with automobiles. Yes? Yeah. It's great when all is well, but not so good when it ain't. And if you've got to take the vehicle into the shop and it's you that has to do it, and you're female, well, it can be very interesting. That's what I'm going to leave it at. It can be very interesting. So we have to teach you to know enough stuff of the basic fundamentals to protect yourself when you do take your vehicle in for service and repairs, because the sharks are out there. It's true. And I've been in the trade long enough to know that there's great shops and family-owned and operated mom-and-pop automotive repair shops, but there's also a whole lot of other stuff, if you know what I'm saying. This is a family show. So, number one, the 5 things I teach you in every single video so that you can see it as I'm doing it and explaining it out. And for those who don't like yakking, this program and our YouTube channel is probably not for you because it's a teaching channel. It's talk radio. It's also, you talk on YouTube as well as you're talking about the topic or whatever it is you're working on. So you might want to take up butterfly catching because that's not going to help you. So I break down what it is. What is the component I'm working on, and what it's called and where it is, number 2. And then we get right into how it works. So what is the component, where it is located, and how it works. Because when you get those three things right there, you are already a secret weapon when you take your vehicle in for service. Because you will be able to identify what they're talking to you about. And then another step for you ladies is ask to see the component and have the tech show you. I always did that with the ladies that came into the shop. 85% of our business at Jenkins Automotive and Repairs on the Hamilton Mountain we were there at 1991 for 11 years till I blew some discs out in my back. That really sucked. I'll talk about that another time, but I'm good now. Yeah, mountain climbs. I've skydived like 9 times. Yeah, everything seems to be holding in. Everything seems to be wicked, if you know what I'm saying. But 85% of our clientele were ladies. Interesting, huh? And that was back in the early 90s. The fellers, they represent a very small amount of people coming through our waiting room doors to book their vehicles in. So that's when we started doing the ladies' night at the shop, teaching, bringing you in, feeding you, sending you off with goodies, and working on stuff. Yeah, not just standing there and listening to me yak, but actually working on stuff. Coveralls, latex gloves for you. You went out on the shop floor and you had 4 modules to get through with a service tech at each one, and you performed the work. It was really, really cool. So that's what I would like to get back to and run that out of our Car Connection studio here where we shoot the videos. And that was one of my dreams, is to be able to do that, as we can create 3 service bays. That would be 3 modules for you to get together and do some work. So what it is and where it is, and most of all, how it works. And then number 4, how it breaks. So when you don't understand the components, the basic components that make up an automobile, it's easy to cause damage to those components when you don't really understand what it is, how it works, and what kind of service or repair work it needs in order to keep it in good standing. So many times we find, I have personally as a tech, find a lot of repair work that could have been avoided had the customer just simply known those 4 steps: what it is, where it is, how it works, and how it breaks. If you don't get a good understanding of the bits and pieces that make up your automobile. And then finally, what could you have learned to have prevented that damage? And that's the big key on owning and operating an automobile and keeping it as long as you would like. As long as the structural integrity is solid, it's not rotting out, it's not got, weight loss. It's not on some kind of weight loss program where the rusties are eating it away and making the vehicle lighter. As long as the body and the underbody is solid, you've got a proponent that you can work with as long as you want, because mileage doesn't matter. When the maintenance level is there, you just keep going. And I love to use small aircraft as an example. small to medium aircraft. Just do a little Google search. How old these planes are that you're flying around in. They're not brand new. Absolutely not. And the little planes where people are just getting their private pilot's license, a lot of them are like from the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and they're still going because they're serviced and certified all the time. And airplanes are expensive, very expensive. Even, mid-size aircraft, private aircraft, Learjets or whatever, whoever's making it, Boeing and the like. They're from the 80s, 70s. How can that be? If, shouldn't you have a brand new airplane when you're buying one? Yeah. No. Cars are the same. Exactly the same. You don't have to get rid of it just because it's aging. And as I've said before, the day after you buy a brand new car, is it getting older or younger? How about a year after you've owned that vehicle and made all those payments for a whole year? Is it getting older or younger? So for the talking heads to say, well, you need a newer vehicle because it needs to be reliable. Well, I'm not having any problems. I mean, the vehicles need repairs, service and repairs. Things wear out. Things break. Stuff goes on. Just because you have a 5 or 6 year old vehicle doesn't mean those things aren't going to happen. Yes, they are. They're absolutely going to happen. It's a piece of machinery. So we got to be prepared for that. So knowing the 5 things along with yesterday's podcast, back to the basics, you're now armed and dangerous because that puts you in a position to win. It does. It absolutely does. Not once, but every single time. So what it is, where it is, how it works, and how it breaks, and what could you have learned to prevent that from happening? Because the 5 things goes hand in hand with learning some basics. And doing that will save you time, money, and a whole lot of less stressing out when the vehicle goes down, because you will have reduced the percentile of having a roadside assistance visit. And I don't know about you, but I'm not into that. I'll do whatever I have to, whenever I have to take that vehicle the distance. So can you do 400,000 kilometers on your vehicle? Yes, you absolutely can. Even if it's a bag of hammers, it doesn't matter. It just means you have to step up your maintenance because the vehicle has pattern failures. And what's important is to find out about your year, make, and model. What are some of the pattern failures? It's better to know than to not know. Because when you know what the pattern failures are, now you can adjust your service pattern and maintenance pattern to offset those potential problems, those potential letdowns. And I like to use the 2008 Nissan Rogue, which is that is the first model year, is what I've learned, and it has some pattern failures. So, and I did my research and my homework because I've never had or owned a Nissan before in my life. I fixed a bunch of them, but never actually owned one, and they're not bad. But you do need to know what the pattern failures are so you can head off those things before they happen. And all it means is paying better attention to the shortfalls from the manufacturer. And you got it beat. Because back in the day when Ford was creating, we called it the Aero Bar, the Aerostar van, it was the biggest piece of hoopty on the market at the time. It ranked up there in the top 10 worst of the worst. And to work on them, you'd be better off of disassembling and reassembling, because that's pretty much what you had to do. Just to change a headlight was a crazy amount of time. A headlight. Things that wear out, burn out. But if you owned one, and we had a client at the time, his name was Carl, fantastic client. And he was from the railroad. He was a train engineer. And he looked after his Aero bar, his Ford Aerostar van. It was immaculate all the time. He was on it. And he knew the shortfalls of the Aerostar van even when he bought it, but it would accommodate his wife's health issues. So it was a perfect fit for the couple. And I'll tell you, Carl was on that vehicle for maintenance. It would be in our shop, if not once a month, every 2 months, to have it checked over. And Carl would have his list ready. I need you to take a look at this, and this on this visit. And he was on it, and that van right to the day never looked a day older. He took care of it, and he did the homework, and he found out what sucked about the Aerostar and stayed on it, and he didn't have any problems. And then there were others that are going, I hate this freaking thing, this is the worst vehicle I ever bought, and blah 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 blah. And it's a family show, so we'll keep it clean. And they'd be all totally negative about it, but Carl never spoke illy of his Aerostar. The other guys, well, they would just drive the daylights out of it. And I'd see him once in a while, and then there'd be a list of problems like you wouldn't believe. And then I got to tell him, I got to go through that list and go, well, here's what we found. You might want to go and get a sandwich or something, a beverage, because it's going to take a while to go through the list. Yeah, get some Kleenex too. You may need to wipe yourself up because you may be a sloppy mess, and I'd have to go through the list. So you don't want to be that person. That's not taking care of your automobile, and this program is probably not for you because that's not what I teach, is to drive it in. I'm just going to drive it into the ground. I'll just drive it right in the wrecking yard. Yeah. Nope. This isn't for you. So I hope you're getting something out of the programs, and let's jump in and finish off today with your Motormouth Summer Tech Tip. You ready for it? Here it is. This morning, it's oil's still the lifeblood, baby. Motormouth here. Just because it's summer doesn't mean your oil takes a vacation. Hot temperatures break it down faster, especially if you're towing or running air conditioning nonstop. Check your level, and if it's time to go for a summer weight oil, your engine will purr like a kitten that knows it's loved. So that's your today's Motormouth Summer Tech Tip number 7. Have yourself a great day. Keep it under 100. Buy yourself something nice for lunch. Remember, anything in moderation. Absolutely. And then a diet soda. Zeros it all out. We'll see you tomorrow morning for another Motormouth Morning Drive at 8 a.m. on all podcast platforms. Again, just a reminder, help Skippy and I get to our first 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We got brand new videos going up today. 2 for Tuesday, 1 every Friday. So you get 3 brand new videos every single week. We're getting ready to wrap up the series on the 2003 New Beetle convertible Orange Crush. Starting to get things back in order now after cleaning out all the mouse stuff. It was bad. I mean, you gotta watch the whole thing. It was really, really bad news. So if your vehicle's equipped with a cabin air filter, get on it. Push your technician to get in there and replace it and clean out the cavity where the filter is kept, because there will be debris in there, debris. So happy, healthy motoring, friends. Peace, patience, and kindness always. And we'll see you in the next one. So like, share, subscribe, follow, be part of our community. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye for now.